Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. That thing right there. I think I like when it does that online too. But anyway, um, I understand that. But anyway, today this is the first video, January 6th, 2022, 3:23 p.m. And I titled this "The Process: The Good, the Bad, and the Real." And if anybody that's been looking at my videos, you kind of know what I've been talking about, like the process of dealing with death. And sometimes it really is like, yeah, let it be. That process is be sometimes. But the good, the bad, and the real. And sometimes you get advice from people, and some people only know cliche things to say. You know, um, I feel like the most challenging part is dealing with the mourning stage and the process afterwards. Because I was talking to a family member earlier, and I was telling him, I was saying that people only understand from a surface level. And I'm not saying that my mourning or what I've been through tops what somebody else has went through. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes for a person to really understand what you're saying, I just bought my cat a new toy and he is enjoying it. But sometimes for people to really understand what you're saying is they have to go through it. And my understanding from my point of view is to really understand it the way I am, you got to get it the way I got it. So, I mean, and I'm going to get to the point of what I mean. What I mean, like, okay, I'm not the only person to lose a mother. I'm not the only person to lose a brother, father, friends to death. I'm not talking about to anything else. But here's what I will say. That if you lose your mother, but let's just say you lose your mother and you really don't have like a real close bond with them. Yeah, that pain of losing your mother, but if y'all didn't have a real tight relationship, it's not going. The impact hit different when that person was like your best friend. That person was like your counselor. Whatever. When you're going through something, that's your go-to person. And until you have a bond like that, you're not gonna understand. Which is why, yes, I understand Kanye West wants to be psychologically think he's a white man. I understand a lot of things Kanye does is questionable and sketchy. However, we always have never let off this point is the type of I resonate with Kanye because the type of relationship that it seemed like he had with his mother, that was the one with my mom. So you literally can go insane just off of losing somebody like that. And this thing of how, especially like here's my thing when we talk about, and I say you have to go through it and you have to understand it because a lot of times people give you surface and cliche information. What I mean, they say, well, you got to look at death as a natural part of life, and all these things I get, those are factuals. You got to look at it, you can't sweat it. They're not here no more. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Cool, I get that. But to put that in real time, no. And I get it because the goal to help people is to make their spirit feel better. You don't want to join the pity party with them. So, but a lot of times, what did that actually mean? Okay, we understand that that's a part of it. Even with my therapist, I love my therapist. My therapist is great, but they cannot even understand, but only from a surface level. And sometimes they be in the situation that you're in, and it's like in your current state. It's like in your current state of mind. So I mean, it's just one of them things you have to kind of reflect on. You know, the void that's irreplaceable by that person. I can have people that's like a brother, but that doesn't replace my actual brother. I can have somebody that's like my mother, but that never replaces my mother, or like my father, or like my friend that I lost to death, or however. And you process things different when you lose a lot of people. Sometimes with a lot of my little younger brothers and sisters, that I talk to, some of them never has even lost a family member. So we can read like from an African perspective or from a historical, spiritual, however we want to say perspective. But what we have to understand, the executing is in going through those processes, if that makes sense what I'm saying. Cause see, you don't know what you made of until you lose somebody that's like really, really you tight with. My mom changed significantly when she lost my brother. Didn't mean she loved me less. And sometimes, we had real clear conversations. That's one thing about my mom. She's dope. She was dope. We could talk about everything. And I told her, I kind of felt like that's where I get the name Kente from. My brother was named Kente. So I constantly take my people with them and honor my people that I lost. My brother, that was my right hand man. That was my homie. My mom, that was my left, or vice versa. Switch hands. But I could remember telling her that I did kind of feel like she kind of checked out on me a little bit, when my brother passed away. And I was I was young. I was like 20, 22, 23. So during my maturation process, I began to really, as we began to have clear talks, we began to understand on a level that, what I'm saying, she didn't leave me, but that was a part of her. He came from her just like I did. And it would have been on the same hand had she lost me. She wouldn't have quit on him, but she would have really mourned and felt me. So, that was the going through the process, because sometimes you kind of feel rejected, and still a lot of times that's why I always try to be clear as I can with my stories, because a lot of times people are always the victim. Somebody's always doing something to them. Somebody's always not speaking to them. Somebody's always, and it's like, well, what are you doing? But in a situation where I can say, I don't have the best relationship with the family members I have remaining, like my grandmother, my uncle, my cousins. I don't have the best relationship. And what's sad is they live in the same complex as I do. And sometimes that's when people don't understand like the lonely process. You can go around others, but ain't nothing like the people that you really grew through certain situations with, even if the family is dysfunctional. Hell, a lot of our families are dysfunctional. But just going through certain processes, man, I can remember. And I've talked about it in a lot of my videos. I can remember. And I was explaining this to my therapist in one of our sessions that some days I feel like I'm a very sure person. Some days I feel unsure. I don't know what to do. Because it was like, okay, my mom, okay, August is a tough August, let's see, January, February, August. That's kind of like a rough time for me. Okay, and I'll explain why. Okay, January is, and I'll start only there because January is first, and it's kind of like backwards, but I'll go, kind of back and bring it forward, or forward and take it back. January was like the end of January. My mom, she goes 20. This is 2019, by the way. She goes to the hospital for like the final, one of the final times. It wasn't the final, but it was like the next to the last one. February is my brother's birthday, my mother's birthday, and my mother's transition day. So those days are, those months are, I'm really trying to get through those. And here's the thing that we kind of teach, and I don't want to teach, youth this. I don't want to teach people this. Because yes, we got to stay in the fight and we can't run. But sometimes you need to kind of like go sort and deal with yourself. Not as an escape route, or you're saying this because you just don't want to deal with the pressure. But you actually have to deal with this. Because ever since okay, that was January. Okay. August is tough. August, my brother passed away of 2004. August, the late August, 2019, and that was January 2020. I'm sorry when I was talking about it. I just be trying to really catch up to date. That was January 2020 when my mom went into the hospital. But August of 2019, she's diagnosed at the end of August 2019. She's diagnosed with cancer. So from August to February. And I've been in go mode. I found myself tired. But I've been in go mode for the longest. Sometimes I feel like I just need to pull to the side and tend to me, not factor in nobody, not be selfish, but factor in myself. Because I've been going and not really dealing with the mourning process, and that's one thing that you have to do. Anybody that may come across this video, you got to do what you got to do for you. They're not gonna understand because they don't understand. Make sense? So they're not going to understand why you may need certain things. And I think we feel like, this, you always got to kind of stay in the fight. No matter what, you got to just keep going. And that's true. That's what you have to understand is really how to balance yourself. Because that is you. The fight will not stop. But it's okay to pull to the side, get yourself together. Because even there are breaks in between rounds of fighting. Or unless you're street fighting in his own then. But if it's organized, there's breaks. He's not in the ring, just keep constantly fighting. So you really have to be within you. And you get this, and everybody say, "Okay, New Year, this." We constantly say the same thing. I'm gonna do this for the New Year. I'm gonna do that, and it's a continuation of last year. Everything are waves, ups and downs. There's never just maintaining at this level. Never even staying at low levels. Highs and lows come with things. But I'm in an interesting place. I'm in an interesting place where I really have to find things for myself, not be attached to somebody, not be doing it and trying to win something for the people. I love the people, but I have to love me first. I can't help people if I don't help me. So it's like I said, the good, bad, and the real. Most people don't know how to help you through your situations. They give you encouragement, they be there, but you have to get yourself out of these tough situations. Thankful for everybody that played a role in helping me, assisting me, being there for me. But some things like I tell my son, some things I must do. You must do as a man on your own. Uh, and like I said, I really like these. Sometimes I wish I did have some traffic, but then again, it's like a real personal vlog diary. Real personal vlog diary. Mm. So, yeah, and that's the thing I love about my videos because a lot of times I feel like when I see other people's page, they have this image that they feel like they got to keep up. Be yourself. If my hair is out of place, so we try to be so perfect for a world that's fake. We should always, and I'm not saying don't look your best, but we always try to look our best for a world that only reflects your worst or your best under its circumstances, if that makes sense. Be yourself. Find yourself. There are levels to learn. To my young homies, to my young sisters that may see this video, do not allow life, any movement, or anything to burn you out. My cat is really enjoying. I bought a sidebar. I bought my cats, some new toys, and the little baby, he really likes it. My big baby, she doesn't really like to play with much toys. She'll play every now and then, but she's kind of like, old grumpy, big grumpy. She's not old. She actually will be 6 years old coming up. So yeah, and that's the thing of like just understanding the joys of life, the joys of you know animals, um, children, babies, uh, older people. You know, so I just wanted to kind of vent, and I honestly I don't even think I'd be getting nobody watching because I look a lot of times and I don't have no view. But it's okay. I feel like maybe one day somebody will find these videos and they'll be helpful. Yeah, sometimes I have to understand there's not always instant gratification or instant noticing. Process. Process. Processes to things. You process them. You go through processes. You go through stages. So I leave you in the words I greeted you in, a BB for Hodier, African liberation for African people.